Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. If you've not seen me before, my name is Abby the Mindset Fairy and I'm here to help you turn your dreams into a reality. If you have seen me before, then welcome back. So today's video is inspired by the quote, "The key to your future lies within the boxes of your past." So what does that mean? And how does that impact our mindset and our goal setting? So what it means is that when we are planning our way forward, so we have our dream, we have our goal, we know what we want to achieve, and we start to make a plan, figure out how we're going to do it, start to put the steps in place and start to work our way to it, we often find ourselves being held back. So usually this is mentally being held back. We might feel that we are not ready for it. We might have imposter syndrome. We might feel really anxious about it. And we're really just trying to shake that feeling and just kind of push it all to one side and just go ahead and do it. But it's important to really understand why you're feeling those emotions, because those are all things that we can definitely do something about to put us into that more positive mindset and to give us the ability to move forward. And the key to unlocking that, the key to unlocking your future, always lies within your past. So if you think about the things that you have been through in your life, the promotions that you've gone for that you haven't got, the relationships that you thought was going to be your forever person and it wasn't, the circumstances where you really wanted to do something or achieve something and for whatever reason it just fell through. We have a tendency as humans to really just sort of push it aside and go, I'm just going to focus on my future because there's no point dwelling on the past. I'm going to focus on where I want to be and move forward. But unless you actually deal with what has happened, you carry the weight of that with you anyway, subconsciously. And that's where all your fears and insecurities are coming from. They're all coming from what has happened that you haven't dealt with. Now, it's a really sort of scary process to start opening up and start to really exploring that. Especially as you may not think that the experiences that you've had are really that bad. You may be comparing yourself to other people in your life, people that you know of that have been through certain scenarios within their life and be thinking, well, what I've gone through isn't really that bad. You know, I don't need to deal with it because nothing bad particularly happened. But the thing is, for this to be weighing on you and to be holding you back, then it was bad for you. And understanding that just because someone may be coming from a more traumatic background to you, just because you might have been in a bad relationship, but you know someone who was abused in their relationship or someone that was physically abused, it doesn't mean that what you went through wasn't bad. And it doesn't mean that when you think, well, I didn't get that job that I was really hoping and wishing for, but some people don't even have a job, so I should be grateful. Well, that's true. And that is a very important thing to think about when you are dealing with your circumstances. But you do have to give yourself that grace and that self-care to go, but it did really disappoint me. And it did really shake my confidence. And it did make me think about whether or not I am able to make that next step. And there's a couple of different ways of doing this. You know, a lot of people seek help through therapy. A lot of people think that they don't need therapy. And it really depends on your circumstances as to how you need to deal with that. But whichever route you go down to deal with the things that have happened to you, the process is very much still the same. It's taking that time to really sit and think, okay, well, that didn't go my way. And how did that actually make me feel? And actually validating to yourself that feeling that way is our feelings and our emotions all have a purpose. And if you felt really knocked for six, then you felt really knocked for six. It doesn't matter that someone may have had an experience that is worse than you, because that's how you felt in that moment. And by allowing yourself to sit in that emotion and really feel how that made you feel, how that affected your self-worth, how that affected that your perspective, your viewpoint, your mindset, your ability to move on. And then once you've accepted how you felt about it, releasing it, letting it go, accepting that that's happened, accepting that it did hurt, and then taking the strength to go, but I don't need to let it affect my future. I can release this, I can let it go. I can forgive the people in my life who may have been integral to creating that situation, and forgive myself for feeling and for carrying that feeling. And once you start to release it out and start to let it go, you are effectively unboxing all the things that you're carrying with you. And as you go through it, each little thing will start to lift away. And the easier it will become to move forward. If you think of all the different things that you are actually carrying with you, think of them as weights holding you down. Your progress is always going to be sluggish because you're carrying it with you, you're pulling it forward with you. The more weights that you release and you drop, the lighter you become and the easier it becomes to move forward. And that's your key. That's how you start to feel the confidence again in moving forward. That's how you erase the self-doubt. That's how you stop the imposter syndrome, because your feeling of self-worth increases and your ability to view yourself as being worthy to do this, viewing yourself as being capable of doing it, viewing that the future is yours for the taking comes through unboxing what's happened and releasing that weight, letting it fall away. And it's a really difficult process, and it's something that does take time, but it is the key to achieving those goals and those dreams. If you think, when you are at your end point, how do you want to feel? Do you want to still be carrying these emotions, carrying this trauma, for want of a better word, carrying these memories of all the things that haven't happened? Do you want to, in your shining glory moments, to be thinking, but that didn't happen, and this didn't happen, and that didn't work out? Or do you want to be thinking, I reached it in spite of that. That all happened, and that helped me build and become the person that I am now. And without me experiencing that, I wouldn't have learnt what I learnt to get to where I am now. What perspective do you want to have? Do you want to feel happy within yourself, knowing that you have made it, knowing that you haven't been held back and that you've been able to carry it forward to achieve more than you ever dreamed of? Or do you want to get there and think, it's been a really, really, really hard journey because I didn't feel good enough, I didn't feel worthy enough, I had imposter syndrome, I was anxious about this, I was anxious about that? Because if you're still carrying those emotions, when you get to where you want to be, you're still going to be feeling those emotions, and you're still going to be feeling that, and it's not going to have the same joy that it would do if you'd released it. And that is really the core of our mindset. It's looking at the things that have happened and accepting it. You can't always put a positive spin on something, but you can learn from it. And it may have been a situation out of your control, but you can learn how you reacted to it, how it made you feel, and recognize that experience again in the future to make sure that you can get yourself out of that situation, or prevent it from happening, or deal with it better. And that's how you maintain that momentum forward. You have to go back before you can go forward. You have to release the weights before you can progress. It is possible to still get to where you want to be holding all that weight, but it is so much harder, and you will not feel the same joy when you reach it. So my advice to you today is really sort of sit and think about the things that haven't worked out, and really sort of think about the things that haven't gone your way, and start to give yourself the time to go through it, to mentally work your way through it. If you need support in doing that, then absolutely reach out for it. Do not think that your experiences aren't important enough and that other people have been through worse. Yeah, some people have been through worse, but also some people have been through less and are still receiving support for it. If it's important to you, then make it important to you and release it. So that's the message for today. I hope that it helps, and I'll see you guys all soon. Bye.